Alright, what's going on, guys? It is Sunday and I am up at the barn and I'm cleaning out the boat, and I figured while I'm cleaning out the boat, I fished it pretty hard these past couple weekends. May as well give you guys a run through of rods that I use, reels that I use, and why I use them. I don't have a crazy assortment, but I do have all the rod space in my boat filled up finally. So I'm going to go through kind of what each one is, how it's been working, and what it's used for. They're all over on my right here and they're all tangled to heck. So the first one that I'm starting off with is my St. Croix Mojo Bass 7.1 medium power paired with a Shimano Stradic 2500 HG. And this is really my multi-purpose. So if you look here at the tip, you can see I actually broke this one and I had to replace it. So it's a little stiffer than I would normally want it to be. Oh, we almost got it in film. There it is. There we go. A little bit stiffer than I would want it to be, and normally what I'm fishing on this is I'm fishing an assortment of things. So hair jigs, drop shot, Ned rig, use it to drag bottom, fish a jig head. Really any of those types of things is what that rod is for. And that's how I use it most. The 7.1 or the Mojo Bass line from St. Croix has been pretty good to me. I haven't run into a whole lot of issues with them. It's been pretty well put together. I did snap the tip a couple weekends ago, but nothing too crazy. You're gonna notice a theme, a lot of everything is St. Croix. Other one that I have here is my brand new one that I'm really stoked about. And this is the St. Croix Icon, which is a 7.6 medium light, extra fast, 4 to 10 pound. And that's on a Shimano Vanford 2500 HG. And man, does this thing rip. I love this. Only got to take it out one time as of now. I bought this Friday and fished on Saturday and caught a couple fish with it. But really what it's designed for, or what I'm using it for, is jig head minnow. So now that I got my live scope all set up, and I'll show you guys my boat here in probably another video, but forward facing sonar, classic jig head minnow, and that's really what this rod is for. I got 15 pound or 10 pound braid on here with a 6 pound mono backing, so very standard, but love this rod so far. Really big fan of the super soft tip. Really comes back around, and you can feel basically everything, which is great. Other spinning rod I have is my St. Croix Panfish paired with a Pfluger President that I got for free when I was 14. This rod is phenomenal, and you'll see I have a jig head minnow on there right now because I was fishing with a buddy, but this is really a versatile rod. Good backbone. You can see it's a little beat up here because I've been using it so much. But really a good rod for basically anything. When I shore fish for crappie or panfish out of Lake Mendota, early ice off season or late in the season, this is what I'm using. This is really, really good to get those casts long way. I have 2 pound braid on here, so very, very light, and it's just been a phenomenal rod and reel. I could not recommend a panfish rod enough. Ultralight fishing is phenomenal. Oh, speaking of, the power is ultralight power, and it's a 6.9. Other thing I have is my other Mojo Bass that I got as a replacement to the one that I broke the tip off of. So it's a 7.1 medium power, fast action, and I have a 2500 HG Vanford on here. I have this one set up with a slip rig right now. This is what I caught that big old catfish on a little bit earlier this week. But I use this for the other type of finesse fishing that I don't have on my main rod, or on my other rod. So if I'm fishing a drop shot on that rod, I have a Ned rig on this rod. If I'm fishing a drop shot on this rod, I have a Ned rig on that rod. That way I don't have to swap between the two. I'm really inefficient at tying a drop shot, so every time I have to tie one, it takes me like 10 minutes, and I would just much rather have that set up. So this is what I have for that. Really good float rod as well, a lot of good backbone to it, and it's worked out really well. Getting on to the bait caster section, I have a whole bunch of different stuff here, so bear with me. This one is a Mojo Bass 7.5 medium heavy extra fast. And this is basically my all-round heavy rod. So anything that I'm gonna be flipping into cover, if I'm gonna be flipping, pitching, throwing jigs at docks, whatever it might be, this is what I use. I have 30-pound PowerPro on here, Superslick, and it is on a Shimano Curado reel. So that is my main one. I also use this for frogging. And then if I want to throw something a little bit different, like a Texas rig or whatever, I'll throw a 15-pound or a 10-pound floral leader on here and throw a Texas rig on this. But great rod, great reel, huge fan. Being multi-species, don't get to use it as much, except for when I'm like specifically targeting bass. But outside of that, awesome rod. Speaking of awesome rods, this one might be my favorite of the list. This is my chatterbait, jerkbait, like all-round early season rod, and it is phenomenal for the price. So this is my Fenwick HMG, and it is a medium heavy extra fast, and it is a 7'5". So you'll notice that I'm fishing with a little bit longer rods. Because I have the higher platform on my boat, I can use them, and it is real good. I'll tell you what, fishing a chatterbait on this versus fishing a chatterbait on a Bass X or a St. Croix Mojo Bass, junk compared to this. This is phenomenal. If I had to go back and buy a brand of rods, I would buy Fenwick all the way. This has been wonderful. St. Croix is good, and their Icon series is really good, but for bass fishing or just general inshore, this is money. And I have this paired with a Shimano SLX DC. I haven't been super jacked up about the DC as much as I thought I would be. I bought it to try it. I didn't put it on my Curado because I didn't want to spend $1 billion on a Curado reel because they're only like $250 normally. It's fine, but it's not anything crazy. So if you're gonna spend the money, just learn how to cast a bait caster. DC's fine, but not a huge deal. Those are all of my rods that I've purchased since or because I bought the boat. Now I want to show you the legacy workhorse that exists. And it's the last one on my boat that I have not replaced, and it has taken an absolute beating. I have had this rod since I was 14, and I have zero plans to retire this thing. Ducket Fishing Ghost Cranking. It's a medium heavy, 7 foot, and it is fiberglass instead of graphite. I have it paired with a Shimano Caenen, the first Shimano reel I ever bought with 20-pound braid on here. And I use this as my cranking stick, and it gets abused. Like, I had to replace the guide and come up with a different system. I wrapped it with like wire and then super glued it back together. This thing has taken a beating over the past multiple years. This has been phenomenal, and I love this. Caenen's starting to break on me. It'll slip every once in a while with the gears, so I need to be a little bit careful. But out of all the rods that I have in my collection, I have caught the biggest and the most fish on this. If you guys remember the pike that I caught, the 34 or 36 incher out of Lake Peatwell, it was on this bad boy. This one has performed for a long time, and it's about time to retire it, but we're not quite there yet. I'm going to use it until it snaps in half. This is my favorite rod out of all of them. So many great memories. Outside of that, those are the rods that I use day to day. I have a couple more rods back home, you know, a trolling rod with a clicker. I have a big, long, like 10 foot with a Shimano Sahara that I use for steelhead or salmon wading. But really, those are the rods that I keep on my boat at all times, and that is my main arsenal that I use. If you guys have any questions or advice on what I should buy next or replace things with or start to trade up, feel free to throw them in the comments. I am kind of a tackle junkie, so I have a lot of that and a lot of other tackle that you guys will see in future videos, but that's really the main things that I have going on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.